Hey guys, just thought I'd jump on here quickly because just had I guess this is a bit more of a education slash rant slash maybe just making people aware of how prices have just absolutely skyrocketed in the last 2 years, really. In all fairness, it's been the last 2 years. So pre-COVID, a drum of 2.5, so 2.5 mil twin and earth is the cable that you use for sockets, appliances, small ovens, that sort of thing. So when you're looking at renovations, it's if not definitely the second most used cable in renovations. And just to give you an idea of how costs have jumped, so probably in April 2020, so just as COVID was kicking off, a drum of 100 meters probably would have said was maybe sort of £40, including the VAT, maybe a little bit more, but probably not far off. Just had a quick look on a nationwide handyman store, and you'd be looking at sort of the best part of £80 now. So there is a 100% price increase. So the reason for this video is somebody reached out to us, right? And now when we speak to people, we obviously try and explain that obviously Astra Lumos, what we stand for is we are a lighting design and installation company who do things differently. We are a luxury brand, and that's because when you work with us and when you get us in to do stuff, you're not just hiring an electrician, you're not just buying some like high quality luxury light fittings with custom made switches, that sort of stuff. You're buying peace of mind. And what I mean by that is the number of times we've had guys working through to midnight because other trades have let their time frame slip, and we've sort of had to really dig deep, make sure that our part is finished, ready not to impact the project's timeline. All you'd have to do is just ask some of our team members, and I'm sure they'll have some fun stories to tell. Me personally, I did a 6 p.m. on a Friday evening start, which I finished at 1 a.m. on Saturday morning, ready for the boarders who were working on Saturday to start boarding, because the guys who were putting up the stud work had run late and only managed to finish their side of things at 6 o'clock on the Friday. So it is what it is. I did what I had to do just to make sure. Another example is a very good celebrity client of ours called me up at 7:30 on a Sunday morning to say he desperately wanted to watch the, of all things, Canadian triathlon, and his soundbar wouldn't work. So I said, give me a minute, I need to get dressed, and it's an hour and a half to you, but I'll be there. An hour and a half later, a bit of magic, he's happily watching his Canadian triathlon with his soundbar. I'm having a nice coffee, and I've had a nice early start to my Sunday morning. So when this conversation came up with this potential client, went and met him, had a look at his property. He's renovated part of it already. It is a converted barn, so there's some interesting and tricky things to consider, such as getting through or around beams, depending on the listed status. How to incorporate existing wiring with new wiring to make sure the switching arrangements and everything like that still works. And this client, obviously, potential client, obviously has an understanding of how much he believes renovation work should cost, because he's done part of it before. So when me and David, the other director of Astra Lumos, sat down, went through the pictures, went through his notes, had a look at this potential client's drawings and what he wanted to achieve, we were like, right, here's our price, this is what we can do. He's desperate for people to start next week, and we said, yeah, if you sign off today, we'll have somebody with you on Tuesday. He had a look at it, and then he came back to us and he said, well, actually guys, you're The second most expensive price I've had through, and if I'm being honest, I need you to halve it by 50% if you really want to be in the running. And obviously that kind of got me thinking. So obviously we're all aware that costs are going up. So fuel is obviously a major one. As I've said, cable in the last 2 years has doubled in price, and then it's obviously not just that cable. Then you've got your lighting cable and your wiring accessories and everything else. For tradesmen, we've obviously got our insurances. For electricians and some other trades, you've got a governing body that you need to subscribe to. Particularly electricians, every time they adjust or amend the wiring regulations, that's another day, that's another exam we need to write. It's another day we lose trading because we have to put everybody through the new regulation courses. And then obviously you've obviously got the fuel, which everybody knows about. Van insurance, everything. So I guess it was more just to say, I can appreciate that with everything going up, people are going to be not necessarily price sensitive, but they're going to be very wary of how much they're spending here, how much they're spending there. Right. But this chap, the wiring accessories he's got in his house are really high grade, really fine finish. And that's obviously what he's hoping to achieve with this next phase of renovation. And I guess for us, it's just, we can match his expectation. We can keep his finish high level. We can make sure we do what we do best, which is design and install quickly, neatly, efficiently. You know that you're not going to have to call us back. It's going to be done up to code. We can sign it all off. Plus we'll leave the place neat and tidy as we found it. However, it all comes down to a price. So I've got some horror stories that we could talk about, which I won't do in this video, but I guess all I'd say is, whoever, and this goes out to everybody, if you're in this situation, possibly don't just look at price and price alone, because you really need to be confident that if something goes wrong, and building works and renovation is stressful, so I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but if something goes wrong, that when you pick up the phone, whoever you've got is going to be on the end and ready just to come there and sort it. Because when things are going smoothly, it's easy. It's when it's not going smoothly. So currently it's absolutely hammering down with rain, and one of our team members is putting in outside lights because we're trying to get it finished, ready for this weekend, because the client's got something going on, and if that's what it takes to make the client happy, then that's what we're going to do. So come rain, come shine, come hard work, come mistakes, you know it. If you're going through this process, I promise you, peace of mind is worth paying for in the end. Sorry if that was a bit more of a rant, more than I just thought, do you know what, let's maybe start getting a bit more education. So I know this because this is what I do, and maybe people don't, and some people don't, and also it's a bit of sort of hand holding, like, actually I know what you want and this is how we're going to achieve it. So hopefully you found it informative. Otherwise I'll do a few more education pieces as and when I get a chance. Otherwise, if you got any questions, reach out. I'll pick up the phone.